The remorseless father who abused baby Tony Hudgell so badly he had to have both legs amputated will stay behind bars after his parole was refused.
Yes, Tony Smith is serving a 10-year prison sentence for causing horrific fractures that led to him losing both of his legs.
We can now speak to Tony's adoptive mother, Paula Hudgell. Hello to you, Paula. So it's a tremendous honour to have you on the show. So how are things going? How are you holding up?
Thank you for having me. OK, we're doing all right. We were very pleased with the result from the Parole Board this week, that his release has been refused. Quite surprised because I don't think it happens very often, but it just shows the seriousness of, what he did to Tony. Just sadly that Jodie Simpson was released back in February before she even got to the Parole Board.
I mean, Paula, many people will be watching and listening to you this morning and thinking, well, 10 years was never long enough in the first place for what he did to your son.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's why for the last 4 years we fought for Tony's Law, which was to increase sentences for child cruelty, which we succeeded with last year. So, we're proud of that. If they'd been sentenced now, those sentences would be much higher. And obviously we're pushing now for a child cruelty register because there isn't one in place. But it just shows that Tony Smith is a danger to society, especially children. And, even if he is kept in for his full term, he'll be released in 2027, but he'll be released back into the community and have access to children unless we can bring this child cruelty register into force.
And, for the benefit of our radio viewers who can't see the images, they just saw some wonderful pictures of Tony on his crutches, giving the thumbs up, really moving images of him smiling. He's with Boris Johnson there. The resilience of children on a charity walk, the resilience of children, I think, is the positive aspect to take out of this. Because here's a young lad who looks like he's enjoying life. Tell us about the quality of life he has now, and has he got over things? Is the future looking bright for him?
I mean, Tony's always showed such great resilience and, any obstacle he tries to overcome. He has a great life, yes, but obviously there's lots of daily challenges. And Tony is in need of a very serious operation, very lengthy, for his hip, because his hip's missing due to the fractures and infection, and also leg lengthening of the leg where all the growth plates were damaged. He needs surgery to his wrist. He needs surgery to his face as he goes along. So it's endless what he needs going forward. He's going to live with this for the rest of his life. Still multiple operations. He's already had about 28 operations since he was born. But yes, I mean, he just inspires us every day because he never complains. He just gets on with it. Obviously, at the age of 8, he's become much more aware of the things that he can't do, the same as other children. Even simple things like yesterday, he saw a normal bike and he said, I'm never going to be able to ride one of those, am I? And it breaks your heart to think that he has to suffer every day. And if they'd just taken him to hospital and not left him, he may still have his legs today. But, he's a happy child. We do our best always for him. We adore him, and he brightens our lives. He really does.
Oh, he is such a lovely little boy, and he's just such a hero and an inspiration. Those pictures are really, really moving. And at the parole hearing, the judge actually commended you and your husband for being such good parents to Tony. I mean, he is an absolute superstar, but so are you, and you are such wonderful parents to him, and he is very, very lucky to have the two of you.
Yeah, I mean, the whole court case was quite surreal, really. I mean, we had an NFA, which is a no further action, had to really fight the CPS to get it to court. And luckily, the jury found them guilty within an hour, and the judge was brave enough to give the maximum sentence. At the time, the jury didn't even know whether Tony had survived. So for them to then find out he was living with us and had survived was... It was quite surreal. Everybody in gallery in the jury, and everybody applauded us, and the judge called us absolute stars. So yeah, quite surreal after a very emotional 2 weeks of a trial.
Well, I'm really glad that you got that recognition as parents, because I think what you've done, you know, with adopting Tony is just so wonderful. How do you cope with what happened to your son? Do you ever find yourself racked with anger? How do you cope with what happened to him? Because you love him so very much. That's so evident to see.
Yeah, I mean, we absolutely adore him, just like any of our other children. There is no difference at all. I do find it very, very difficult, especially when we go to another hospital appointment and they say, you know, he needs further surgery and things like that. And it's just, it really does eat at you, but you can't let it win, because, you know, you have to keep bright and happy for Tony, even though literally, you know, I sob when I know what he's still got to go through, and still what he's got to endure. But, you know, we have to keep positive for Tony. And yeah, that's what keeps us going, is him.
Paula Hudgell, a story that I'm actually finding quite...
Yeah, you are. You're very choked up, aren't you?
Sorry.
Yeah, it's hard when you're a parent. It makes you think. Paula, it is an absolute honour to have you on the programme, and you are such a wonderful mother, and you're in a wonderful family. And to give our love to Tony as well, and to all of you. He's an absolute hero. He's a little superstar.
Yeah, cheers.
So thank you very much.
Sorry.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. No, it's very, very moving. It is. I mean, he is just... Can we get those pictures up again of lovely Tony? I mean, just what a hero. Look at him. And
also I think what's happened in France, Ellie.
Yeah.
You know, what's going on. It's like you just see these kids, and it's just so hard to take sometimes.
Well, it's helpless children, isn't it, who are...
Those who deserve at least get such cruelty. But, you know, Paula is a genuine hero, a heroine. These are the sort of people that give you absolute hope in dark hours. Amazing, fantastic.